Talking happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. Don't have a dream. How you gonna have a dream come true?
Mr. Jack Dillon, couldn't be happier. You're here on the show with us again. Always great to have you on the show, Jack. It's always great. You're not actually that short. I should apologise. It was just a joke we were making.
It's just a cheap trick. I don't know why you say these things. I'm pretty much a normal height.
You're close to normal. You pay full fare and everything, don't you, normally?
Let's not get into how we look. Let's not go there.
Let's not start. It's too easy a target for you.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the time of year, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, it gets near Christmas, and this is the time of year when celebrities suddenly decide they want to share their life with us in the form of a book.
Yeah.
That's what happens, and biographies appear on all the bookshelves. And Jack's out now, and it's very funny. It's called Thanks for Nothing. And you seem to be very keen to help all those people close to you who've helped you get where you are today. Do you mind if I show the people the dedication in the book here?
Yeah.
Have a look at this. That's hot. Yeah, I think that's the spirit. And then there's the index in the back of the book, and this doesn't show me in a good light, but I looked there, I thought maybe I'll be a mention, because I've had you on my show loads of times over the years, and I like to think that I've given you brotherly advice and occasionally fatherly advice, and once, one late night, some sisterly advice. And yet I looked at the back, I'm not mentioning the index. Look at the index of the book. Here we go. So I think we know that's what the book's about.
The book is about me, you know. I hate all these books. I hate it when you read a book and you open it and it's dedicated to, to my wife. Oh yeah, what have you done wrong? Why? What's going on? To my kids. They don't want a book dedicated. Take them to Disneyland. Put your hand in your pocket. Who wants or something more personal, like to Squeaky Face and Monkey, or you just read the book thinking, who are these people? I want to know about that. I don't want to read the book now. I want to know who these people are. So I dedicate it to me.
There's an honesty there.
Well, it wouldn't have been. It's about me.
Okay.
The book is.
But there are lots of other people in there as well. It's not just about you, Jack. There's a plethora of characters in there, if you don't mind me saying that word. Are you worried ever about offending people? Are you worried when you write about people in your book? Do you feel like you have to run it past them first?
Well, obviously, I've been very careful not to, to change names. I mean, legally you have to anyway for half the time. So, there are people in there who are mentioned, and they need to know that their identity is protected. Obviously, mum and dad, that's not their real name. So no one will ever know. No one will ever know.
It's a great trick you pulled there.
It's like the acknowledgements as well. You have to do the acknowledgements page. And I thought, what is this? It's the first book I've ever written. Oh, you meant to thank everyone. They thank them for what? What have they done? All this, the printer, the proofreader, the editor, have you got to thank? I don't want to thank them. They got paid. If I'd known they were so needy, I would have chosen a whole other bunch of people to be honest. I'm not into writing a book about thanking people. If I had to leave messages around, I would have tipped them or something, and I saw them.
It's like giving them a little 10% at the end, isn't it?
It is, just do your job and be happy that you've done it.
You're not angry so much, but you seem slightly, what's the word? You're quite grumpy, aren't you, Jack?
No, I'm
grumpy.
Not.
You're old grumpy, grumpy chops.
I'm easily disappointed.
Wibbly grumpy chops.
I'm easily disappointed.
When did you first become grumpy? Were you a grumpy child?
Apparently I was. I remember being at school, I was.
You can see even there he's thinking, this sounds rubbish. Look.
It wasn't there. That was in Salcombe, and the sand wasn't very good, actually. It was not the right texture. I took myself to Devon on holiday on my own.
I wonder about how you spend your time. When you're writing a book, of course, it's a solitary experience. Is that why? Did you feel alone? Did you need solitude to write in, or did you?
I lock myself away to write. I have a little office that I go in town, and I write from there. And then if I really can't think of anything, I go off and do something. I'll go and. One time I just went for a haircut. I thought I haven't written anything all day. I'm going to go for a haircut, and that suddenly sparks a thing about how much I don't like having my hair cut.
And what don't you like about having your hair cut? What could there be?
Because they talk too much, don't they? They can't do it without talking, And
well, they're just chatting.
No, they're not just chatting. They're laying all this stuff on you. I wrote a whole chapter about it in the end. It was because it triggered this thing as this barber I used to really hate, and I don't know why I kept going back to him. to have my hair cut. But he always had little snidey little remarks as I was leaving, and
Well, what did he say when you were leaving?
Oh, it would be all things like, I'll tell you who's a funny bloke. You know, I'll tell you who I think's funny. As if, like, you're not, I don't rate you, but I tell you who I do.
You would go back to him?
So you feel a bit worse every time you leave the place, you know?
OK, now...
Do you blow-dry your hair?
Yes. And before the show, a nice lady takes tongs to it.
It's a little bit wafty. It's looking very wafty. It's a thing. So I've written about that in the book as well.
You once...
I don't like people who blow-dry their hair.
Well, it's only because you've hardly got any left. You look like a decomposing...
I've got plenty of hair. It's just short.
I once found a tennis ball in a skip that had better hair than you.
Give me your hair. You took tongs to it as well. You look like Deborah Meaden from Dragon's Den. That's what you're looking like. Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm out. OK. What other things are on your list of things that annoy you? What other things bother you at the moment?
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff has gone into the book of all the little petty prejudices I have. In a whole chapter about the thing, just to get it off my chest, because I was trying to write this autobiography, but I was getting myself so annoyed with all the other stuff, I had to write that as well.
Get it out.
So, you know, anything like man bags, there's a whole thing.
Yeah, I have a man bag.
Would you have a man bag?
Yeah, I've got several.
I've never seen you with a man bag. You didn't tell me that as well. Oh.
My wife bought me one for my birthday a couple of years ago.
She bought you one for your birthday?
It's a nice thing to have a man bag.
You fell for that one,
You put all your things in it. You can put your phone in there, you put your wallet, you put...
I hope you get beaten up.
What?
Well, your wife, you know what happened there? She bought herself a handbag, got it home, didn't like it, felt guilty, and thought, I know, it's Jonathan's birthday, I'll give it to him, he's an idiot.
You don't approve?
No, don't approve of the man bag, don't like it.
Well, what about how are you with your children? Because you've got lovely children, you've got a family of children, you've got some young boys and so on. At the moment, there's a lot of concern about health. Are you worried about allergies? Do they have problems?
They'll be okay. Listen, we worry too much. So, you know, the kids, they look after their own health. And, you know, allergies, what a load of nonsense.
What?
God. Oh.
You can't say that.
Don't, please. Oh,
People
I'm
have
allergic.
allergies out there.
I hate that, don't you? Everyone's allergic to stuff now. Why don't you say you're a fussy eater? You know? I'm allergic to peanuts. I can't. I don't want your medical history. I'm just passing the nuts around.
But a person can die from eating peanuts.
Oh, not very often. I mean, I'm allergic to penicillin, and that's a real allergy, you know. I mean, that's a proper allergy.
Well, when you get given penicillin at a party...
Yeah, I came out in quite a bad rash.
A friend of mine actually was allergic to peanuts, and she came out in, you know, it's quite a bad thing. It's the most absurd way she got exposed to peanuts. You know how?
How?
She was I'm not making this up, she was at London Zoo. She went past the elephant cage, and his trunk came out and brushed against her face. And she was like, ha! And he'd been eating peanuts.
God. Imagine if she'd been allergic to sticky buns as well.
I think she'd have been killed instantly.
She'd have been dead.
She'd have been dead. Now,
I love elephants. They're great, aren't they? I love it. They are nice animals. I love them. They're very nice. Yeah. But occasionally they turn on their keepers.
They do.
And they just sort of crush them against the side of the wall, don't they? They're all friendly like that, all friendly. And then they get their keeper and they go, oh. And that's the end of the keeper.
I shared a cab home after doing Never Mind the Buzzcocks with Phil Jupiter once, and it was a very similar experience. He won't mind me saying that, but every time the driver took a sudden swerve, it was like I was... OK, now, Jack's book is not only out for those of you smart enough to read. If you can't read, or if you're just lazy, there's an audio book of it as well.
There's an audio book.
Now, I had to listen to the audio book, and I was disappointed, I'll be honest with you, because you're reading it.
Yeah, of course I'm reading it.
Well, no, because sometimes you get books, you get a really good book. Like, you buy the Harry Potter books, the audio books, that's great. You know who's reading it? Stephen Fry.
Yes,
it's marvellous.
yes.
It's marvellous.
Well, he was busy.
It's exciting.
And I asked for you, but they said, no, he can't talk properly.
Well, I actually... So, anyway, I asked your publishers whether you had considered other names, and apparently they said Jack did send in a list of people that he would consider reading the book instead of him. Listen to this. Sir Ian McKellen, Michael Gambon, Sir Ben Kingsley, and Angelina Jolie, apparently.
It would have been a coup. It would have been, you know, just for the publicity.
It would have sold. None
it
of
would
those
have been
apparently
great.
were available.
It's just available. It's available on audio because in case you want to listen to it in the car. I mean, obviously you can drive, you can read it while you're driving.
Well,
but I wouldn't advise it because you will miss out on a lot of the subtle wordplay.
Yeah. Well, I found someone who I thought would be a good voice to do it.
Yeah.
And I've recorded a little chunk of it because here's the thing: it's a funny book. It's an entertaining read, but you are quite downbeat, and it's kind of like, you know, it's funny, but your voice is a bit like that. You know what I mean? It is though, Jack. I'm not the first. You ever heard yourself speaking? You ever listened to yourself back? Yeah. It's horrible. I'll be honest with you. You've got a horrible voice.
Yeah, well,
it gave me a headache listening to your voice.
Never ever have I bought...
Then I woke up. Then I saw a hairdressers going on about 10
Which is why I think in print you'll find I have a whole new career when people don't have to listen to my voice.
Well, to prove my point, this is Jack's audiobook. Have a listen to this and you see what happens.
The previous pencil had performed well, but it got to that stage in a pencil's life when the lead keeps breaking no matter how much you sharpen it.
Right.
I'm a patient man, but after a week of being messed around like that, I flew into a rage and snapped the damn thing.
Right.
No one fools with me and gets away with it. Not even a pencil.
See,
it's all right, wasn't it?
It's all right, but it's not great. I'll tell you why, because you don't sell it.
What? Yeah, well, I'm just reading it. I'm not trying to sell it. They've bought it by then, haven't they?
Cynical. That's cynical. I didn't have you marked as a cynic. Here's I thought, let's find someone cheery, upbeat, and most importantly of all, available. Okay? And this is the man. You remember this familiar face? Have a look at that. Remember Russell Grant? He does the horoscopes on TV.
Russell, yeah,
and often, you know, people have often said to me, you look alike, and they've often said, Jack and Russell, are they related?
Was he surprised when you asked him to do this?
Yes.
That's funny, isn't it?
I'm delighted. Here's a little burst. Have a listen to Russell Grant singing this and see if you don't think this will be a better audiobook. Here's Russell doing it.
The previous pencil had performed well, but it got to that stage in a pencil's life when the lead keeps breaking, no matter how much you sharpen it. I'm a patient man, but after a week of being messed around like that, I flew into a rage and snapped the damn thing. No one fools with me and gets away with it. Not even a pencil.
You see, that's the way to do it. He sucks it in. He keeps you involved.
You know what? I had no idea Bob Hoskins could do such a good Russell Grant impression.
So what's happening in your life, apart from the book, apart from love? Are you touring again? Oh, you're taking over the radio show, aren't you?
I'm taking over, Sorry I Haven't a Clue.
Sorry I Haven't a Clue, which is a radio institution. What a great gig to have.
As a chair, which is a great honour. Yeah. It's a lovely thing to do on Radio 4. It's a fun show to do.
Are you going to be touring again, though? Actually doing a live stand-up gig?
Maybe, probably.
What do you mean, maybe?
I don't know, because I'm very busy. Well, I'm doing more Lead Balloons, so I've got to start writing that in November.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. And,
well, that's November,
yeah, and we'll make it in September. Okay. Next September. So that takes me through to this time next year, really.
What do you do to unwind, Jack? If you've got a whole day off and the wife and the family, the kids are all right, what do you do with your day?
I got onto Twitter. I was trying to track down that idiot who's calling himself Jack D on Twitter.
Oh, there's a Jack D imposter?
Yeah, there was, yeah. And
when you say try and track him down, what, physically find him?
I don't know. I was just...
And, like, beat him up?
I looked into trying to find out who it was doing it and everything. I don't understand how to use Twitter, so anyway, I did follow the 105-year-old lady for a while on her Twitter. That was great. It was 10:05, she says, I'm going into the kitchen for a cup of tea. And 10:10, can anyone tell me why I came into the kitchen?
That's it. That's the beauty of Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, and the book's very funny, by the way. Congratulations to Mr. Jack D. I think Russell might go. I might leave that out. Great to see you, Jack D, ladies and gentlemen.